Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam. This is the weekly update on my vegetable garden process. Started this series weeks and weeks ago from starting cool season vegetable seeds, which are here now. All these lettuces and spinach and peas look fantastic. Everything is looking great. And then we seeded all of the warm season vegetables or the summer vegetables like the peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers and so on and so forth. And they're going in the ground this week. And I thought I'd show you how I am going about that. My tomatoes and peppers are actually going in the same space with this lettuce. I'm just going to plant them in between. They take a little while to get started. Once they do, they grow pretty fast, but they take long enough to get started that I'm going to get a lot more out of this lettuce before they claim the space, so to speak. And at that point, once the lettuce stops producing, I'm going to take this small little hoop house I have and this protection I've put around this lettuce from the rabbits. I've got a terrible rabbits problem in this neighborhood, so I always have to keep my greens protected. Like I say, once they stop producing, I'll take all this down and then I'll put stakes up here for the tomatoes. I'm going to plant. I'm going to show you right now. Here's a tray of peppers that were done. Peppers and tomatoes can be planted deep, meaning I always talk about in all my videos, all my shrub planting videos, don't plant them deep, don't plant them deep. But with tomatoes and peppers, they'll actually root out along the stem. And if something gets a little tall and leggy, like these did, because they stayed in the house for so long, even under the bright lights in there, they did stretch a little bit. I need to come in here and pinch these, and I'll do that next week. I'll show you that. I've just pinched the top out of these peppers to get them to branch, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm just going to go ahead and get them in the ground. I've got this Pro Plugger, is what this thing is called. This company is in South Carolina. They sent this thing to me, gosh, probably almost a year ago, and I haven't shown me using it. This is great for, doing soil tests and things like that. It'll go down pretty deep and with minimal effort. It's a well-made tool that you just step on and create a core out of the ground, but it works perfect. I have found this morning for planting the tomatoes and the peppers in between these lettuce plants. I can go right here between two rows and just step on this thing and pull out a perfect core. I'll give you a close-up of this right there. And in the end of it, that soil's in the end of it. You flip this thing over and the soil actually falls out right there. And it created a perfect hole here for my pepper plant to go in, and absolutely perfect depth right there. And now my pepper plant's in between my lettuce plants here, and I'll give you a close-up of that, how I'm going to do that. I'm doing a double row of peppers here and a double row of tomatoes over there. So I'm holding the camera with one hand, and I'm going to push this down in the ground with my foot in my other hand here, just like that, without destroying my lettuce plants, hopefully, right there. And look at that. It just creates an absolutely perfect round hole right there. That's, the depth of that end. I guess that's probably, if I had to make a guess, maybe 8 inches at the end of that right there, maybe 6. And then again, I just flip it over like that, and the plug just fell right out of the end. I hope you can see that. And then let me turn around here and grab one of these this is a long, slim, hot pepper here, right here. See how tall and leggy that is? Like I say, I'm going to pinch the very top 2 leaves out of these next week, but I'm going to let them grow for a week. But look, I'm dropping that down in that hole, and you see how much of that ends up buried right there below the grade. I got a weed right here to pull. And then I'm just going to pack that soil around them. This, I'm growing in a compost that's just on top of my soil. This is like a raised bed without a wooden structure around it or a metal structure around it that you see everybody else building. You can just throw compost on the ground and grow your vegetables right in it. But there you go. That's absolutely perfect. And I'll space these. I'm going to put a pepper there and one right there. And then every other row, I'm going to put 2. That's the one that I planted right there at the beginning of the video, right there. And I'm going to continue to pick this lettuce just like this. I showed this last week, that this lettuce is just pretty much pops right off just like that, and keep these lettuce plants from being too wide and crowding out my peppers or preventing any light from getting to the peppers. Just keep eating this lettuce. So here are all the trays of the summer vegetables and flower seedlings that I have brought outside in the last few days and just left them here in the sun waiting on time to plant them. Here is a very leggy tomato plant that I wanted to show you. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with the pepper plants on the other side. I've got this Pro Plugger here that I can, because this is compost on top of the ground, I can easily remove that plug the exact same way. Lean it up against the side there, but look how perfect that hole is, how deep that thing is. If I did this with a trowel, the reason I didn't want to do this with a trowel is because I don't want to get a lot of dirt on my lettuce, and I'm even still getting a little bit on here. But I'm trying not to just drown them in dirt, and then I just knock the surrounding compost to fill that rest of that hole in and tamp it down pretty well. And there you go, that's perfect. I've taken care of most of the legginess, and I've got an extreme one. I got the most leggy one that I possibly had, so the rest will be even planted a little more upright than this one as well. So anyway, there you go. And the tomatoes again are just going to go down this line mixed in with this lettuce and kale, and there's actually some carrots coming up beyond that. So here's the potato update. I've got leaves forming on this one over here. This one is up, but no real leaves forming yet. And same thing here. Look at all that new growth, just week over week. You see all of that. Before the end of this week, I'm actually going to fill that. Put about 2 more inches of soil in here, about right up to the top of where that growth is. And then next week we'll do the exact same thing. It should bust right up through that next layer. One thing that's been slowing me down is I had brought this compost and bark pile to this space right here, and I healed in a bunch of plants that I had brought from my garden center, and I finally have gotten them into containers where they actually should have been in the beginning. I just didn't have time, and now I can use this pile. This pile is going to get spread out through this area. Ignore these columns. I have no idea what I'm doing with these at this point, but all this area back in here is going to be covered in this material to expand my vegetable garden. This is where all the beans and cucumbers are going to go this year. Big, bright, sunny space here, as you can see from my shadow. And I'm going to get that done in the next couple days. And then the beans and the cucumbers are quick and easy to plant. You just plant those flush, and they'll grow like weeds pretty quick. I've got to plant these strawberries though. That's part of this video here, and they've been healed into this since I got them in the mail, and they'll come out super easy. I really don't see a lot of new, well, yeah, there is some new white roots right here that have come on these. I'm going to take a couple of them over to the other side where they're being planted and show you that. This is actually 4 plants here. We'll take these. Nope, it's actually 5, and I may find a 6th. Yeah, okay. I've actually got 6 plants here that I've pulled up. I'm going to take those over to where they're actually going to find a home, and I'll show you how I'll put those in the ground. So the space I showed you where the cucumbers and beans are going is right up there, and this is a space that I added down below the formal garden that I put in last year. And I put this Miss Figgy fig in. I don't know how well you can see that right there. It's just leafing out in a video just the other day. There's a slope right here leading down to where the camera's sitting, and I'm going to plant these strawberries along this slope that's in this area. These daffodil bulbs are kind of funny because I moved the soil over here from some paths that I'm digging out to put in some paths, and those daffodils were mixed in with that soil, so they volunteered here. After they die back a little bit, I'm going to dig them up and transplant them and find a good home for them other than right here where I'm putting all these edible plants. But I'm going to use this Pro Plugger again here, and this is just totally loose soil here, so it's kind of easy. This is not an endorsement for this product. I will link it down below. I had forgotten I had it. They sent it to, like I say, they sent it to me a long time ago, and it's a family-owned business in South Carolina. They had sent me an email, sent me the product, and then it sat in a corner and I've just been too busy to think about it. But when I was thinking about how I was going to plant those tomatoes and peppers in that garden without getting dirt and soil all over my lettuce and having that to be a problem for the next few weeks, trying to clean the soil off of it every time I pick it, you know, that's when this thing came to mind. And it just makes super quick work of digging just a perfect hole like that. I'm going to spread these roots out a little bit. I did not spread them out when I planted them in that soil pile over there, but I'll have these roots loose and spread out just like that. With these strawberry plants, we want to make sure we keep the crown, which is this little firm part that's right above the roots. We want to make sure that stays right at the soil level or just above the soil level right there. And just that firm part where the new growth is coming out of, I definitely want to keep that, like I say, above the ground. If you sink that below the ground, you'll end up rotting the stems. So I'll go ahead and do one more. I'll move over about 12 inches here and go down in there like that and flip them over. Again, there's a really hard part right there at the top of the roots on these strawberries, right there, that I want right at ground level or just above ground level. And we'll spread these roots out again. And I'll just hold them at the height that I want them there. Again, I got these about 12 inches apart. They could go wider, actually, because they're going to grow like crazy in here. But I'm actually kind of using them as a little bit of erosion control in this bed. And these are ever-bearing varieties. That one, the first one I planted, actually has a strawberry coming on it right now. So I'm going to get the rest of these in. I probably have maybe 30 strawberry plants to put along this slope right here. I got to get that soil pile spread out so that I can get the cucumbers and that in, and I'll show you that next week. And I got to finish putting in those tomatoes and peppers. All the flowers that I did from seed are going in different areas. They may end up in here if I end up with some extra room. I'll mix some flowers in here as well. So thank you very much for watching this weekly update video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll show you everything else I got going on next week. I will fertilize everything that I'm doing today with the fish emulsion, and after I get all of that complete and everything everything in the ground, I'll use vegetable tone or tomato tone or one of the Espoma vegetable products across everything.